Hello, my friends, and welcome to Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine. I am your host, Christine, and today we are joined by one of my very best friends, Debbie Mangani. She is an amazing yoga teacher who taught me so much benefit of yin yoga. So she's now going to have a conversation with y'all about the benefits of yoga and how she got started in yoga. So I'm going to let her take it away. This is my friend, Debbie. And Debbie, how did you get started doing yoga?
Hi there, Debbie here. So this is how I got started. I was a bartender for many years, and I decided that I had so much energy doing all that, but I needed to find the opposite of what I was doing as far as my workouts went. So I went to the gym, and I used to work out every day, probably close to 2 hours a day, which was over the top probably, but I needed to calm my body down. And I also needed to calm my mind down. So I started a yoga practice, and I realized how different it was from the opposite of what I was doing in my life and in my workout journey. And yoga taught me to tap into myself, to become more flexible, and yet with the flexibility came more strength. It also taught me how to breathe into myself. It also taught me about breathing, about how to breathe and how to relax myself and how to find the other side of life, in the sense that I was in such a fast-paced world all the time that I needed to find some balance. So this practice has brought me to that balance stage. And so then after my bartending life, I became a chocolatier, and I was back in the busy life again, very physical life, but I did my yoga every day, and I realized that the yoga is what kept me calm. And then I realized that I really wanted to start helping other people find their journey on the mat. So being on the mat for me as a practitioner is very similar to teaching in a way, because what happens is you learn how to tap into your body. So then you realize that everybody's is built differently, everybody moves differently, and everybody needs different things. So I was at yoga studios a lot, and I used to see a lot of people doing yoga not correctly, and nobody was able to help them in their practice. So I decided that I wanted to become a yoga teacher so that I could help people to find their journey correctly on the mat too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Take you to become a certified yoga instructor. So you did it. How long did you do yoga before you became?
So I did yoga for 14 years before I decided to become a teacher. And it took me, it was almost close to a year of training. It's a 200-hour program, but it wasn't like a consistent every day. So there's a lot of practicing involved. And then I've done lots of other trainings. So of course you can train, there's so many different trainings to do. So one of my favorite styles of yoga that I teach now, I'm a private teacher, by the way, so I teach one-on-one, but I also teach small groups. I also teach virtually, so I can teach groups virtually also. But the part I like most about one-on-one is, like I said, the connection. So it's not just about the physical movement.
And I've been taking classes from Debbie now for probably just over 6 years, and it has made a world of difference. I love my weights, but sometimes you just need the balance. You need that slowdown. Excuse me, I have a terrible cold. And so she's taught me breath work, and she's taught me how to be patient with my body and let it open up. And it's just been a world of wonderfulness. By the way, the name of her company is the Feel Good Yoga Girl, because she makes you feel so good when you do your yoga. I don't know if that's actually why she called it that, but that's what I believe.
Actually, the reason why I came to it is I felt like all of my choices were a little something about people feeling good, right? I was serving them party goods, and then I was serving them chocolate, and now I'm serving them up energy.
There you go.
So part of what I love about this whole idea of teaching, especially the one-on-one, and especially what Christine was just talking about, the yin yoga, it's really about incorporating the flexibility into your life, incorporating the energy work, like finding the energy within yourself, and not just finding your energy physically, but the emotional energy and the spiritual energy, and finding the other side of yourself, those places that have been in the dark that you haven't lit up yet.
You've taught me how important stillness is, because I get a lot of movement in my day, but I am learning It's a journey, and I'm learning how to try to be still. Now, I'm not always great at it. Debbie will tell you. I get a little like a wiggle worm, but I'm getting better.
Not so much. I think you've done a really good job. And the thing is, people come to me, and the thing they always say to me is, I'm not flexible. And I always look at them and I said, we're all flexible. We just have to learn to be flexible. It's just like you learn to get strong, or you learn. So all of your workout works for you within your realm, whatever your workout is. But the thing is, yoga is for everyone, and yoga is really about your mind, body, and spirit. It's not just a body thing. It's not just a mental thing. It's all combined together, and when you pull it all together, you feel like this ultimate, it's almost like an ultimate illumination of life. And so that then you start to feel stronger, and you become stronger, and then lifting weights or doing the harder tasks in life are easier because you've learned how to be more flexible, a little more patient, a little bit more kinder to yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And so what do you say to people who maybe, like, you and I are both Catholic, but I hear from other Catholics and Christians who have fear of yoga because they fear that they're not following their spiritual journey, that somehow these poses are a practice to some other being. Now, I don't particularly feel that way because I pray as I do my yoga. I ask Jesus to be with me. So for me, I don't feel that's a problem. But what do you say to people who say that?
Right. So you and I have discussed this before. So first of all, yoga is not a religious thing in any way, shape, or form. It has nothing to do with that. There are people all over the country, all over the different countries that do yoga. It doesn't matter what country they're from, but it's not about, you're not praying to one certain thing. Your beliefs are your own. Right. So this is all about moving energy through your body, which they call, so in Chinese medicine, they call it qi. Mm-hmm. Some people just call it energy. It's really about finding the energy within yourself. So if you believe in, let's say I'm Catholic also, if you believe in God and that's your faith, then that's what you feel within you. That's your faith. And your faith can be incorporated into this practice by stilling your heart and tapping into your faith. That doesn't mean you're tapping into something that's a different God of any kind. You have to choose what works for you. Your faith is separate from your practice unless you want to incorporate it into your practice. So for me, I wake up in the morning and I pray and I meditate. So prayer and meditation go hand in hand, no matter who you're praying to.
Debbie has taught me also to do some meditation work and to do some inner work. And so I'd love her to explain more about what meditation does for your body and your mind.
Right. So when you learn to meditate, it's not about, I'm going to sit down and say a prayer. It's a little bit different. So meditation is about emptying everything out of yourself. It's like pouring everything out of the vessel. And then as you take this empty vessel, and as you breathe back into your vessel, and you start to pour in the energy that you need. So maybe you meditate on something. So I do a lot of guided meditations, and I'll do different ones. And sometimes you're doing a meditation, let's say you're doing a love meditation, where you're trying to draw some love back into yourself. And then maybe you want to pour some of that love out to a particular human. And then maybe you want to pour it out into the universe. So it's about finding that stillness inside of you and letting go of that tight feeling of I can't gather everything. So this way, when you gather everything, it's in this place of peace and tranquility. And then you can take that peace and tranquility into your life, which changes your physical body, which helps your nervous system calm down, helps you rebuild your cells. It restores and rejuvenates everything within you.
Now, when you say guided meditation, is it music? Is it
guided meditation could have you could always have some soft music in the background, nothing with words. I particularly don't think words are helpful in that situation as far as the music goes. But sometimes there's guided meditation, as in like, I'm going to guide you through your heart space. I'm going to guide you through your whole body. There's yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is when you focus on particular parts of yourself as you meditate. So for example, I'll say, bring all of your energy and attention into your right eye. and breathe that energy there. And then before long, we'll move over to another part, maybe the next eye, then down into your throat. So you have all these energy centers in your body called your chakras. So there's a lot of chakra energy going on, which starts at the pelvic floor all the way up to the crown of your head. And these are all the energies of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so to open up all these energies with meditation and yin practice especially, it changes everything in your body, your mind, and your spirit. You become more relaxed, you become more calm, you become able to deal with things differently. You feel a difference.
Most of my audience are perimenopause through postmenopausal women. So women usually in their 40s and older, and maybe they've never tried yoga before. For me, I didn't try it until I was in my 40s, but it was life-changing. I really enjoyed this practice. I really embraced it and really learned so much from you. What would you say to somebody who's afraid to try it?
Obviously, if you're afraid to try something, then there's something else going on, right? So then what you really should start with is you should learn some meditation so that you can clear all that space inside of you that has fear. Because when you learn to meditate and you learn to tap into yourself, you start to get rid of the fears that you have inside of yourself. Because yoga is, first of all, if you're going to try yoga for the first time and you're not comfortable and you're not willing to be in a room full of people, then you try it with someone like I teach, one-on-one. Because one-on-one, the nice part about doing one-on-one, yes, is it more costly? It is. Is it worth it? It absolutely is worth it. And the reason why I would say that is because I'm not only going to teach you, but I'm going to customize it to you, to your spirit, to your body, to everything that is about you. So remember, not one size fits all. Even though yoga is for everyone, it's not one size fits all. So what works for one person, there's so many styles of yoga. And so you have to find, what you have to do is you have to communicate yourself and your inner self to the yoga teacher, or you have to walk yourself into a class that's a regular class and decide, I'm going to see what I can take from this class and make it work for me. So it's a little bit hard when you've never done it before to be in a group class. It's not simple. It's about really tuning in. You have to tune out the outside world and tune in.
I have a funny story. So before I had ever met you, I took a restorative class at a studio, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So they're like, get a bolster, get a couple blankets, get some pillows, get some... I thought, what in the world are we doing?
Right.
And honestly, it was a great class. I just didn't know what to expect, and it was a little bit intimidating.
Right.
So I can honestly say that if you are interested in one-on-one, it is definitely a good investment. It's definitely a good way to go because there's no intimidation factor. You can communicate clearly. I have a trouble shutting up in class. I'm not going to lie. So so one-on-one is good because Debbie's like, you need to stop talking now. I'm a talker, and I come from a long line of talkers, so there's only so much of that I can handle. It's quiet. At any rate, in a big class, you can't really talk. But on one-on-one, I can say, hey, this week I'm getting this cramp here, or I'm getting this problem here, and we can adjust the practice for that. Now, I've been doing yoga long enough to know now that I probably can modify myself, but it sure is nice to say, hey, I need to stretch this part out. I'm having this issue. Like I had that frozen shoulder for about 6 months. And let me tell you, it was a pain in the booty. And so Debbie was able to customize for me like how I could do some of the poses, like even child's pose. I couldn't extend my arm at all. So we found a way around that. And that is the benefit of working with somebody one-on-one. Now, if you heard my podcast on Sunday where I talked the difference about personal training and coaching, yoga one-on-one is more like personal training. You get it customized just for what you need versus coaching who would say, do an hour of yoga a day, and you'd have to find some place to do that. So that's a definition of what I do versus what an instructor does one-on-one. Both you can get something out of it, but I honestly believe it's worth the investment to get the one-on-one when it comes to yoga because there's so many, like she said, there's so many different ways to do it. Styles. Yeah. It's just, I don't do a lot of the flow because I really need to open up and let those muscles relax because I do so much other exercise.
So one other thing I'll tell you is even if you like say I'm on a budget and I can't do one-on-one because it doesn't fit into my budget. First of all, my prices are amazing compared to most private yoga teachers. And the other thing I will tell you is you don't have to do private for the whole length of however long you want to do yoga. You can come and learn exactly what you need to do to be able to go to a group class. You need to find comfort with yourself first, because the idea of walking in cold to a class, unless you have, and there are some instructors that are amazing at cueing, and like Christine said, if you walk into a class and the first thing the teacher should say to a full class, is there anyone here who has never done yoga? And a lot of places don't do that. So you have to make a decision. If yoga is what you're looking for, then you find a way to ease your way into it. It's just like anything else. Like when you work out, you don't go into the gym and lift weights for a full hour and do all kinds of reps and not expect to feel, oh my gosh, I can't walk the next day, because that's not what you're looking for. You really want to learn how to do it the correct way. You want to learn form. My thing in yoga is the most important thing I teach people is to be in the right form in your poses, because you can injure yourself in yoga just like you can when you're lifting weights or doing any kind of aerobic exercise or whatever. You can injure yourself in any one of these sports, right? So the thing is, this is a way of learning your body and what your body can do. And as you age, your body changes. And I will tell you one thing. If you want the fountain of youth, you find it in yoga. You will find it. I'm going to be 67 this year, and I'm probably more flexible and stronger than I've ever been in my life.
And she looks fantastic, I can tell you.
But I feel fantastic. So really, it's great to look good, but it's really better to feel good, because I was telling Christine this last week, motion is lotion. That's what yin is. That's what the yin yoga brings, and the yin yoga and the other yoga, because you're opening up things that you don't even know you have.
Right, it's true. It's true. Sometimes I think she'll ask me, like, is anything tight? And I say no, and then we get into a pose, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's really not opening up at all. As much as I think that I'm tapped in because I've been doing this for so long, it's not always the case. So working with a professional is really important and worth the investment. And it's interesting you were talking about, because for everybody, and I've noticed a big trend amongst athletes, especially professional athletes, starting to incorporate yoga because they get so dang stiff. And then they lose all that flexibility, and you need flexibility and endurance and strength, everything for your sports. So if you're thinking that it's not necessary, it is. It really is necessary for everybody. I encourage you to reach out. I will post a way to get in touch with Debbie and Feel Good Yoga Girl. And then, excuse me, if you have any questions, you can email me, and I will definitely get those questions to Debbie. So I want to thank Debbie for talking.
I just have one last sentiment I want to say.
Absolutely.
I just want everyone to know yoga is a journey. It's not a workout. It's a work in. You're going to work into yourself, and then the workout is happening naturally. Really, to be strong, you have to be flexible. So you have to think about that. They go hand in hand. And I hope that I can help anybody that's looking for this journey. And Christine is an amazing health coach. She's an amazing chef. She's amazing at everything she does. She really is. And she's a sweetheart.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And if all of you have enjoyed our episode, please drop us a note, leave a review, and if you have questions, you can pop in there as well on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. And on YouTube, you can find us everywhere. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to us today. I pray that you will give yoga a try. I think it will be life-changing. As always, I pray for each and every one of you, and thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Debbie, for being with us. It means the world to me, and I will talk to you all on Sunday.
Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you, and in that light we are all one.
Amen.
Make it a great day.
Namaste.